Hello everyone. Today on the Hadron Collider World Religion series we talk about the Hindu god Shiva. Hello everyone. As promised, today I want to talk about my favourite deity, Shiva, the Hindu god. Shiva is known as the god of destruction or the god of renewal, and is known as being blue, muscular warrior-like figure who carries a cobra and a cheetah around his waist. Now, Shiva is an incredible god. While most gods are loving or forgiving or gods who create and breathe life, Shiva is the opposite. Shiva destroys. Shiva tears apart worlds. In fact, according to Hindu mythology, Shiva will destroy the world many times over. So why do I like Shiva so much if he's such a destroyer? Well, interestingly, the concept of destruction is more in tune with the concept of letting go than it is with damage. Shiva is here to remind us that every situation is fragile and transitory and can be destroyed at any moment. And being aware of Shiva means that you embrace every single moment knowing that it will end. Now, Shiva is probably best illustrated as coming to earth in different forms and helping people understand and realizing insights into nature. Shiva is a part of us and can take form in any form in order to communicate. Now, the wonderful poetry, one of the most amazing books ever written, the Bhagavad Gita, tells a great story about Shiva. And the story goes that King Arjuna, after years of trying to avoid a war with his brother, finally finds himself on a battlefield, and he's in his chariot. And just before the battle is about to commence, he's to ride out and to talk to his troops and to rally them and to get them excited. And he really starts to talk to himself. You know, he's really psyching himself out because he knows, as he looks across the battlefield, the people that he's about to engage with are his family, are his friends. He knows these people and he really doesn't want to kill them. So as he's sitting there on his chariot, his golden chariot, he thinks to himself, it'd be better off if I became a hermit. It'd be better off if I left and went into the forest. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride my chariot, get my chariot driver to ride me now, and I'll never come back to this battlefield. And just as he's about to give the orders to his chariot driver, the chariot driver turns around and says, you need to do your sacred duty. And it's not the chariot driver, it's Shiva taking the form of a chariot driver. And Shiva basically tells the king that he's tried everything. He's really tried to settle this, but right now it's time for battle, and as a warrior he must act and not think. And if he acts from his heart without overthinking about it, the result will be the right result. Arjuna goes into battle, clears his mind and wins the battle. So what Shiva's really trying to illustrate then is you have a sacred duty just to do, to be, and to be present in the moment and to act. Not to analyze and to think about situations and worry, but there to act from your heart. Now that's a really unusual story. I mean, very rarely do you hear a god giving someone advice to go out and kill people. But unfortunately, as we know, the world is full of ups and downs, violence and love, and sometimes war is a part of it. Being anxious and letting people step all over you is not a way to engage life, and the king learnt that day through Shiva. Now, Shiva is incredibly important, and to remind myself every day about Shiva, I always say to my friends, hello Shiva, in order to help them understand that one day this relationship will end, or one of us will depart or die, or we won't get to see each other for a few months. So we really need to treat each other like the god Shiva in the transitory way so we can really appreciate it. Another amazing concept of Shiva that has been brought into modern understanding, if you go to CERN, the Large Hadron Collider in Geneva, you'll see statues of Shiva everywhere. That's because in quantum mechanics there's a thing called the observer effect, and or the experimenter effect, which a conscious observer has an effect on an outcome, and I'll have some links to that at the bottom of this video. But what it really says is that you can't have an experiment where the observer hasn't affected through its consciousness. The conscious observer is the most important part of the experiment every single time. Now, Shiva is known to have been there for the creation story of the world, and when the world was created, Shiva closed his eyes, and when he closed his eyes, the universe disappeared. Now, that's a very unusual story with a very deep meaning. Of course, when you close your eyes, things go dark. But what the ancient Vedas were saying is that conscious observers bring the universe into creation. And if you close your eyes and there are no conscious observers, there might as well not be a universe. Creation has ended. And it really shows the power of our divinity. No matter how big the universe is, and scientists are always re-estimating now, they're deciding that there's a multiverse with different universes, it doesn't matter how big it gets. Because without a conscious observer, without your eyes open to see, there is nothing. There is no universe or multiverse or whatever science tells us today. It doesn't exist unless you're there to observe it. Shiva illustrates that in one of the very early Vedas. So Shiva is an incredible concept. Are you doing your sacred duty? As you transform over this 12-month transformation process, are there things that you just don't act on, that you procrastinate on, that you overthink? Can Shiva come into your life and destroy the obstacles in front of you and challenge you to take action from your heart? Because if Shiva can, you know you can. Because what Shiva illustrates in the Bhagavad Gita is that Shiva is just a reflection of our psyche. The multiple faces of the world and the universe all incorporate ourselves in Shiva. We have the power to destroy and we have the power to create. But we must let go in order to enjoy. We must understand that everything at some level will be destroyed, and ultimately we will go back to our universal essence. But hey, just act and have fun while you're there and enjoy it and be in the moment. So Shiva, an incredible insight into the Hindu god. I'll post some more material down low, but like I would say to all my friends, hello Shiva, this has to end this video, but that's the beautiful part about it, is that we now have destructive forces that we can renew and go into our video for tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck with your transformation and goodbye. And the Hadron Collider will see you next time on YouTube.